Our next guest has a number of irons in the fire, including president of Visit Tulsa, Tulsa Sports Commission, Tulsa Film Arts and Culture Commission, and he's a dad. But he's here now to talk about tourism-based improvement districts. Ray Hoyt. Ray, welcome. Good to have you here. I'm not quite certain what we're talking about. The concept is new to me. What is this idea?
It started about a decade ago, and it's called Tourism Improvement District. And it's much like the Business Improvement District, but it's really focused on tourism. And the district is for hotels only. The bill is only for hotels only who are direct benefit of the tourism assessment. Much like the Business Improvement Districts, you have to have a group of businesses that directly benefit from it to have one. This bill is written so it's only for hotels, and that the assessment is to the user of the room. And it's enabling language, so it allows all the communities in Oklahoma to be able to use it if they so choose. If they don't have to. It's just a bill that can help you promote tourism. The bill enables local communities to come back to their hoteliers. 50 plus 1% have to approve it. And the bill, I think, is 50 rooms in larger hotels. And those hotels then partner with the local Convention Visitors Bureau, or DMO, and craft a local statute ordinance, and then the local municipality, like the city council in our case, would have to approve it.
Now, are you saying that the hotels themselves would have to approve their own participation?
Yes, a majority of those hotels, 50 plus 1%, which is the statute, because they're direct benefactors of that assessment. So the group is formed, a board, an oversight with the local CVB, or Destination Marketing Organization, and they jointly partner together. As those fees are collected, they use them to market and brand the destination. Very successful. There's tons of data on cities like Napa has a 9-county tourism improvement district. Wichita just passed one a year ago, and they're running TV ads in Tulsa. You know, come to Wichita, get away from your life and come relax in Wichita, and they're using that money to do those kinds of things. Memphis just passed one.
Well,
Dallas passed one.
Are you saying this is totally separate from the Oklahoma Tourism Department?
It is totally separate. So it's a local assessment, and it drives money into a marketing fund that this Tourism Improvement District group with the DMO spends to directly market the destination, therefore filling up the hotel rooms because they're visitors. And the cool thing about this is, with the economy like it is right now in Oklahoma, it's industry-wide. Tourism is the third largest industry in the state, and it's all imported sales tax. Now, we all know we live and die on sales tax. This literally is bringing new money to the state. This fund will help local communities drive more people into the state, which will drive more sales tax, more hotel occupancy tax, and revenue into the city. It'll also employ more people. There's 24,000 people employed in the tourism industry right now in Tulsa. Imagine if we had the money to start branding and marketing our destination. And we were talking about earlier, the assets, the outdoor lakes and environments that we have here that people don't know about, like the Bassmaster Classic. It's a great way to brand the Tulsa region, Oklahoma, as a fishing destination. But if we had more money to market us as a destination for those things, it would only bring more money to the state. And that's really what's behind the Tourism Improvement District bill, is to allow us to do that.
There is so much in this state that could be promoted.
Absolutely.
That isn't being promoted. For example, just historic tours, just sightseeing visits here, there, and yon.
Absolutely.
Are enough to cause the hotel folk to say, well, you know what? We could build a tour that starts at the Gilcrease or starts at the Philbrook or wherever, and travels from point A to point B in a day. Then you come back and spend the night, and you get up the next day and you go somewhere else.
Route 66.
Exactly. And a friend of mine who heads up the Route 66 Alliance, Michael Wallace, as a matter of fact, I saw an answer quoted on Jeopardy the other day that quoted, statistics from the Route 66 Alliance in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Absolutely.
And I thought, wow. Why isn't that? We don't hear about that here. Of course, you're never a prophet in your own home.
Right.
But still in all, there's so many things that we find out about once we're outside the state.
Right. And the interesting thing is that we kind of take it for granted. And I think that's, our messaging is typically not a local message, it's an external message, which brings people inside. I know the Route 66 Alliance, the Lieutenant Governor's taking a car ride through the state. I know he's going to be in Claremore here real soon and in Tulsa. And it's those kinds of things help market our destination, our assets. The Art Deco buildings downtown Tulsa, Willow Rock. I mean, those things, great story, messaging, and marketing is really one of the last things people do. We tend to spend our budgets on day-to-day operations and staff, which we have to do.
Yeah.
And we typically, I don't care what attraction we've talked to, whether it's the Gilcrease or the Philbrook or Willow Rock or the aquarium, most of them spend less than 5% of their entire budget on marketing. And so we're not externally marketing Oklahoma as a whole. The state does a great job, but our communities and our attractions typically, at the end of the day, that's where they're not spending their money.
It's kind of funny because in a way, you never know who you're going to meet pumping gas.
Exactly.
But about 5 years ago, Paul McCartney and his wife rented a car and drove Route 66, came to Oklahoma, spent about 4 days here and 4 nights because they wanted to travel Route 66, and that goes on all the time.
Yeah.
And thanks to the Alliance, now we can see future plans that are coming just for that Alliance alone that will benefit us. And it seems as though what you're saying here would cause people like me to go, wait a minute, why haven't we had that in place long before now? This is a new concept.
It is. It's been in existence about a decade around the U.S. It started really in California when they got decimated with their budgets and lost a lot of their traditional lodging tax money. And this was a way to really capture money that was dedicated to tourism. And this does it very, very well. We've been watching states, it's kind of migrating from the West Coast and the East Coast to the middle. We always seem to be the last to the trough, but I think this is really important for us because it's going to make us competitive. Right now, because we can't do it statewide, it leaves us at a disadvantage against our competitors.
Well, let me ask you a question about that. Does that put all entities of Oklahoma kind of on equal footing in terms of promoting what's important to them?
Sure. I mean, this bill allows them to create one if they so choose. It's enabling language. So the municipalities, they can take this back to their local municipalities and choose to do it or not. But if they choose to do it, it gives them a very dedicated source of revenue to market the Chisholm Trail or to market McCurtain County's cabins and outdoor life. A Grove, it could help them market the lake. So what's great about it is each community with its own individual identity and assets can choose to market that.
Yeah, and I'm thinking of a number of things. One thing comes to mind, Civil War sites in Oklahoma, of which there are a number of them. My Lord, you'd have Civil War roundtable people coming from everywhere to see these sites. Stan Wade's trailer tracks or wagon tracks are still on the rock of the Arkansas River between Sand Springs and Oklahoma shoreline, or Tulsa shoreline. But I keep going back to something I recall happening with Bricktown in Oklahoma City. Bricktown started out quietly. Then somebody came along and said, well, here's a master plan, but we got to have a lot of money invested to do it. And one day Tulsa woke up and said, whoa, did you see what they've done over there? When did that happen?
That happened through the Business Improvement District.
You bet.
They used that bill to create a Business Improvement District to assess those entities in the Bricktown that would directly benefit from that activity. So this is much like that. It's just for tourism.
And with all things we're going to be involved in here on the river.
Absolutely.
Holy Toledo, you talk about a mecca for tourism.
Well, and, with Vision on April 5th, as that passes and you look at the economic development aspects of that, many of those projects in the economic development package are tourism related and quality of life related issues. This will help support those from a marketing and branding perspective as Tulsa as a destination.
So we're talking about Senate Bill 1206.
Correct.
And it's cleared the House?
It has cleared the Senate.
Cleared the Senate, now it goes to the House.
Goes to the House. We're working with Representative Bands, and we'll be working with them after spring break to get it in committee and then get it to the House floor. Our goal is to, like everything, is to get it done quickly. We have the title on it, which is important, and We have a clause on, emergency clause on it, so we can enact it as early as July 1 and get started on creating a marketing and branding revenue.
We're out of time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Grateful. I want you back to talk more about this.
Appreciate you.
That's all the time we have for this edition of Green Country Perspectives. I'm Sam Jones. Thanks for joining us.